Hello, hello. It is a pleasure to see you all once again. Uh, Welcome to Onyx Path Con 2024, Day 2. I will be your host, Game Master, Story Guide. There's titles. Um, for this game, for this story, one shot chronicle. I'm doing great this morning. I am Gilbert Ramos, found ever at Ramos the Nomad. This is Realms of Pugmire, and we're here. We're doing things. We're gonna go around the room, let everyone know who you are, who you're playing, your pronouns, your character's pronouns, all the pertinent information, all the good stuff, where people can find you. So we'll start looking at the overlay. We'll start with Jeremiah.
Hi, I'm Jeremiah McCoy, aka Basics of the Game over on TikTok. And I am playing Broden, and his pronouns are he, him, and so are mine.
Excellent, excellent. Welcome and happy to have you. Next up, let's jump over to Valley Girl Heather.
Hey everybody, Heather Ashcraft, otherwise known as Valley Girl Heather on the Discords and all the socials. Pronouns are she, her, and we'll just kind of carry those over into my character. I am an RPG live action writer, designer, freelancer, professional GM, co-owner of an very small independent RPG company, Pick Up and Go Games. I'm one half of the geeky duo Geeks Unplugged, where we talk about retro video games and collecting and all that kind of fun stuff. I am an actual play actor here on Onyx Path, which has been an amazing experience. I most probably saw me in the Curseborn premiere. If you saw that yesterday, that was a lot of fun. But I am also with Old Ways Podcast and Symphony Entertainment. And next week I will be, actually just a few days, not even next week, just a few days, I'll be headed out to Columbus, Ohio, where I will be working with the Lurking Fears organization, and what it origins, and running some of my original scenarios there.
Excellent. Very happy to have you. Welcome. Next up, let's jump over to Minty Bo.
Hi everyone, I'm Minty Bo, and I will be playing Louis Corgi. Player pronouns are they, he, she, any. Character pronouns are he, him. I am a small-time streamer and large-time nuisance for most people here on the internet and across all socials.
Excellent. Very welcome. Well, happy to have you and welcome. Um, last but certainly not least, Joshua.
Hi, I'm Joshua Deitch, he, him. I'm a writer for tabletop games and video games, including a bunch of Onyx Path stuff, and currently writing for the upcoming Dune Awakening video game. And I'll be playing Mr. Doctor, also he, him, a mad scientist rat and former member of the cult of Labotor.
Excellent. Very happy to have you and welcome. Uh, Without further ado, to quickly run some stuff for the audience. This is Realms of Pugmire. The setting, if you're not familiar with, the age of man is gone. We are nowhere to be found. Whether through apocalyptic means, or perhaps we finally chased our dream of spacefaring and colonization of other planets. Judging off the world now, very unlikely, but we'll see. Uh, Either way, we are gone. Risen in our place are the animals that you know and love that could be in your homes right now. Cats, dogs, reptiles, birds, and mice and rats are risen, and I believe they use the word ascended. I'm not sure. I might be mistaken in that regard. But they've risen and grown into developed their own civilizations, and they have taken our place. There is an air of mystery about our generation, our people, the age of man, the mysteries of man as they were. And this is the setting that we're jumping into today. I've collected consent sheets from our players. I have my hard lines and veils and such. Um, for this particular game, I don't have any particular content warning or anything like that. I don't predict anything crazy happening. But in case you do see something crazy or something that might be a little bit triggering, I'll let you guys know by putting some two fingers up. and that'll be your mark to, if you feel the need to, step away from the stream, get yourself a cup of coffee. When my two fingers have gone, there will be a moment to jump back in. The questionable moment has passed, and you may feel free to join us again. This goes for the players as well. If at any point there is a scene that you would like to kind of have expedited or passed over very quickly, raise two fingers, and I will know to expedite things, move things along. That way we can all stay safe, keep our mental health good, and all that good stuff. Sound good? Sweet. So without further ado, we're gonna jump right into it. I'm very nervous. No one can tell. So we have our cast of players. We have our cast of heroes. You have all been together for some time, be it an adventuring party, through financial means or through the love of adventure itself and exploration. But you all have just recently finished up an adventure, come home to uh, unwind and unpack everything that has occurred on this last bit of exploration. And as generic as possible, you all are in a tavern. So we will pan the camera, as it were, and take a look at how everyone unwinds. We'll begin with Lewis Corky. If you kindly, you've just come back from an adventure. What is your method of unwinding? You've only been back for maybe 3 or 4 hours at this point.
Lewis is currently pestering the ever loving shit out of Mr. Doctor with every question about something they saw that they don't have an immediate answer to. And they are currently poking them at their table. Hey, 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 what about that weird print? I thought it was like a bird, but it doesn't look like a bird. I've never seen a bird print like that. What do you think it was?
Mr. Doctor, you of course may reply however you'd like. Again, you've only been back for several hours. It is you're fresh off the heels of an adventure. Your companion is perhaps not berating you with questions, but however you might feel about it.
Mr. Doctor does not unwind in social situations, so he's a little uncomfortable in the tavern, and he has various little bits of equipment on the table, and he is tinkering and trying to work something, and he's taking the pestering questions simultaneously hit his need to answer questions, but also he's annoyed by the constant interruption. So he's explaining, then going back to his work, then explaining, then going back to his work.
I see, I see. A bit of a detail question for you, Mr. Doctor. The cult of Laboteur took to bleaching or well, bleaching some, if not all, of their fur white. Is that still present on you?
It's very present. In fact, Mr. Doctor is completely he's a tall, thin, completely albino rat with pink and red eyes, which put him high in the cult of Laboteur until he left. The lab coat he wears is very stitched together. It used to be white, but it is covered in splotches of color, as if anytime he's found dye or paint or anything he could smear into the coat to cover up the white bits, he's done it. So it's now become this really chaotic Technicolor lab coat.
Interesting, very interesting. Excellent. As this questioning goes on, we pan our camera over to the others. I should write things down. Heather, if you kindly throw your character name out one more time for me, I'm so sorry.
That's okay. I think I actually missed that in the intro, so I apologize for that. But this little fluffy Pomeranian with some reasonably decent armor and a couple of very nice weapons that she loves to wield sometimes together. Endymathalian, Scythian, Marcella Corbialan, otherwise known to her friends as Endy, just to make that life easier. She currently probably sitting there watching the basically dog watching, just kind of watching to see where everything goes, where people are coming and going, trying to keep an eye on things, keeping one eye open for danger and another eye open for fun.
Excellent. I love to see it. And then finally, our camera pans over to Broden. Are you near or far from your friends?
Broden is sitting in the corner. He is watching his friends as he tries to sort of unwind and let the normal sort of looking for the trap sense drop away. And he is watching everybody move about and just, but in a sort of bemused sense, sitting back with his back to like a pillar or something.
Understood. Our heroes gathered in the tavern, going about their various business. Dear heroes, it is an air of celebration in the city today. There is some sort of reconsecration or ritualistic honoring of an old artifact by one of the uh, creatures of legend, the individuals who helped found the civilization that you all are a part of. The golden collar of San Bernard is to be consecrated or honored today. Uh, it's a largely, some might say, a religious affair or a bit of spirituality is here, but the city has taken it as a sort of festival, and whether there is faith in this or not, the city has decorated. There are cheaper drinks. There's an air of celebration here. You've come back on a very auspicious day. The day currently, that's for the time being, is yours. Is there anything in particular that you would like to try to get up to before, or rather during your downtime, your own celebration of a job well done?
Oh, for Endy, this is as an acolyte, this is a very auspicious day, and therefore she will absolutely be shining up her armor. She'll be making sure her weapons are to point, because as a guardian, she is all about making sure that this day, whatever she can do to help make this day for her friends and for the city at large, this she wants to help. She loves to help. This is what she does. This is her whole goal in life, is to make sure that this is all, everything kind of comes together and things go as smoothly as possible, and to basically take on anything that would potentially disrupt that. So she is all excited. She's probably almost as talkative for once as Louis, and that's saying something because Louis never shuts up. So she's probably, no, don't do that. No, we need to get cleaned up. Come on, we can do this, guys. This is gonna be amazing. This is gonna be the best day ever. We need to get out there. We need to be a part of this.
Hey, doctor, there's a festival. You're gonna miss it. Keep here.
Yeah, yes, I see. I was busy working, but I suppose I should experiment in social interactions, yes?
I don't know what that means, but yes, social things. That
Don't
you use a
suppose
lot of
anyone
words.
wants to play some cards. We could play, pass the time.
Oh, yes, probabilities. I would feel much more comfortable doing that.
Maybe put a little coin on what we are doing. Yes.
How is this enough? And he just holds up whatever pouch he has of a few coins.
Hey, this is we. This this is very much what we are going to be doing. Yes.
Oh, excellent. I need to get some use out of these things.
Wait. Oh, wait, never mind. I thought I saw one of my nieces and nephews running around. We're good to play.
You wish to sit here in the tavern and play cards when there is all of that going on outside? I mean, this is a festival. This is an
It's
important festival. We should be out there and looking at the sights and seeing and eating the food. Oh, the smells that are coming through that doorway smell so good. We should go eat. We should go. Like every vendor in the market right now has their best wares out. We should go look. We should go see. We should go eat our way through.
I've created a nutritious food slurry that cuts down time you don't have to spend time eating or preparing.
Oh, mm.
Hey, doctor, why is there an eyeball?
Oh dear.
I think it
I-
just looked at me.
I think the festival is an excellent time to stay inside and play cards. You're less likely to lose your purse that way. Well, you'll lose your purse, but to me, and that's more important.
How about one round of cards, let people do the vendors, and then the lines won't be long. Then we can go out, do all that where everyone comes here. And then when we come back here, there won't be any more people. We're going to swap places with them, just like how animals do.
Frivolity. Yes. You understand.
A bartender comes around bringing you all a round of drinks. You may or may not have ordered these, but they seem to be on the house. And as he drops things off, he says, "Well, if you want to head to the ceremony, then you better hurry now. Uh, it's supposed to be in a few hours, I think, maybe less."
Oh, come on. Put the cards. We can play cards later. We can play cards anytime. Come on. Live a little.
I
Okay. Wait, Doc. Maybe later you could vet like one of those like moving cart tables, and you can play cards while people are like pulling you along. Would that be cool?
Would it?
going to have to
We,
see this meeting.
I suppose we could find out.
Now, Andy, you seem to be very interested in the ceremony itself. Uh, I must ask, just for a, a deep dive into your character, I suppose. Are you the type of individual to go alone if your friends are persistent in staying here?
Yes. Indy specific Indy's very much driven by looking for, because of as an acolyte, very much drawn to, scenario situations like this, if it deals with the church or just from her former life, uh, you know, when she was brought up as a pup within the church. And well, she was a little loud during services, so eventually they found a uh, there was a much better, much more suitable place to be, and was trained so that she could go out into the world and bring her joy and helpfulness to the masses, and basically make sure that mass was a lot quieter without her around. Uh, but yeah, she is the type to kind of go up and charge in and not just, help others, but to be part of whatever may interest her or whatever's going on, even if it means that she kind of has to leave her companions behind sometimes, which doesn't
Understood.
help when she gets into trouble.
Entirely fair. Uh, well, I will say this, the option is there. If your friends, and just judging from the dwellings of the tavern itself, uh, this place is relatively, it's well, you all tell me. Would you have, coming back from a successful adventure, would you have sought out a place that is cheaper or more refined? And feel free to
Whoa.
discuss amongst
Mm,
yourselves. It's entirely up to y'all.
I think we would go someplace a little bit more refined, because if we had just finished an adventure, that means our coin purses were a lot heavier than they were when we left. So why not? Let's splurge a little. Let's not have to go into one of those dive places that, some of those rougher types are.
I think half those rougher types are like my siblings, but they're gonna really like how this place is, so I gotta see how it is.
Excellent. So, judging from the your surroundings, this is a little more upscale of a tavern. But even with that, this place is relatively packed. There are many a patron due to the decreased prices. This becomes a little more open to everybody. Um, and if that is a sign of the life of the city on this day, it will be a journey in and of itself to get to where they are doing the reconsecration or the honoring of the artifact. Um, not a fully bustling, shoulder to shoulder every moment of the walk, but it will be extended due to the crowds that are out in the streets. Um, so the option to go alone is entirely open to you. The rest of you may feel free to stay and play cards if this has no interest to you. There is no it's entirely up to you. The freedom of choice is truly yours.
At the last moment, Mr. Doctor kind of forces himself to extrovert, and he will go with Endy, saying, I must learn to integrate with my new home."
Yes, wonderful. Yes, come see. It will be amazing. It'll be wonderful. It'll be divine.
Louis is like working on Roden and trying to think of a way to get them to come along and play cards after, and they think, you know, a lot of these people might want to do something after the ceremony. Maybe we can get more people to play cards and then more coins. Because I don't really have a lot of coins. I got arrows.
I I will be coming along just to keep you all out of trouble. You always seem to want to have a good time and don't notice the people are trying to take advantage of you. Yes. Okay, no.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, but the last set of bandits, like, how was I supposed to know they were there? I just saw a pile of bones after spending a couple hours tracking that last monster. Of course, I wanted one.
Of course you did. That's perfectly fine. But somebody's gonna keep Indy out of trouble. So, but I will come along just to keep Indy out of trouble. I'm sure you could take care of yourself. Yeah, you're very good. Yeah.
Indy's already half out the door at this point and doesn't hear to respond on that.
Louis is just
It's
chasing after.
And
entirely fair.
yeah, Broden is sort of strutting afterwards.
Excellent. There is, as I said, an air of celebration throughout the city. As you move through, as I said, it's not shoulder to shoulder every step of the way. There are cramped locations where the streets narrow and things become a little bit more crowded. So, uh, in particular, Mr. Doctor, this venture into socialization is sort of exposure therapy in this sense. People are crowding, well, I say people, uh, dogs in other rodents, even some cats are crowding around, and it's a ceremony, it's a lively festival. I would like everyone to make me a cunning and notice roll.
16.
With
So cunning and notice or cunning or notice?
Cunning for notice. Apologies.
if you've got the notice skill, what are we adding?
It would be your cunning, your notice, if you have the notice skill, and whatever you roll on the die.
Okay. Well, I rolled a 6 plus 1 for my cunning. I don't know what the
Oh,
notice.
+3. If you've got if you're trained in that skill, your the experience bonus I think at this level is +3.
Okay. So
Yes, that is something I neglected to put on your sheet, Broden. That's why I highlighted it in red. That's my bad. I completely forgot to up that number.
No worries, no worries. So a total of 9.
Excellent.
Well, that's a 21.
Excellent. So we have a 9, a 21,
And what I call unnatural 20.
a natural 20. And Mr. Doctor, you said
Unnatural.
6. You said 16?
That's right.
Excellent, excellent. Broden perhaps more preoccupied with keeping your group together, as you said, keeping everyone out of trouble. You mentioned people cutting purses or picking pockets earlier. So this might be something you're a little more focused on rather than the festivities and taking in the ooze and as you're journeying through. Um, and you do catch here and there, not your group. Your group seems a bit more experienced than most. So the cut purses and the sneak thieves keep away from your group, but you do catch every once in a while someone bumps into somebody and you can see a subtle hand slip into a pocket here and there. Whether you'd like to do something about it is entirely up to you.
You've invaded my territorial bubble.
Is it are they doing it to any of my particular pack here?
None from your pack, no.
Hmm. He will if he can get the attention of the person getting pickpocketed, he'll just be like, "Mhm," as he walks by. Just
And
gonna,
you prevent some crimes along the way. You kind of point this out, and the other residents of the city kind of turn and apprehend. It's not a a violent affair, really. It's sort of a, hey, you've been caught, give me my shit back, and we won't have to alert any guards or anything like that. And for the most part, people comply. It's the jig is up, so it's a sort of not exactly shameful look on their face, but they're a little sort of abashed as they pass things back to their own rightful owners and continue on. For Mr. Doctor, you'd notice uh, that the decorative bits of the city are uh, holding out all the stops. There are even some decorations here that are made of a relatively uh, richer mineral, plastic. There are some things being paraded around the city. People are wearing their finest. Um, as well, there are some I forget what they're called. The like the not puppets, but they're held on sticks, and it's like the like Chinese New Year, the long the dragons. I'm not sure what they're called. But there is some decorative and some things like that that depict
marionettes.
a marionettes. They depict a long they depict a longer dog spanning 3 or 4 individuals. It doesn't look like San Bernard. It is a creature of meant likely to inspire horror, uh, which is strange amongst festivities, but people are parading it around as if it is something to be oohed and ahhed at. Children are pointing, like kind of uh poking fun at one another. Amidst this as well, Mr. Doctor, there are some looks that you get due to your appearance. No one stops you or accosts you for it at all, but it is noticeable here.
Despite all that, Mr. Doctor starts getting immersed in the spectacle. The pageantry makes me recollect my youth in the cult, surviving the wonders and horrors of science fair, the bubbling liquids, the arcing electricity, the muted, muffled screams of the sacrifices entombed in the papier-mâché volcano.
That sounds like quite the experience. I have to admit, though, from what I was told, the difference between a church and a cult is a very fine line. I more in the eye of the beholder. But anyway, this is fun, isn't it?
I
Oh,
think that Eye of the Beholder was in that drink.
I, I, I,
quite possibly.
I'm. Are you all right, Doctor? Do you have some trauma that you need to unpack?
He was in a cult. Of course he does.
Oh,
Yes, it's hatched and cross-hatched traumas, but nothing particular tonight.
okay. You know,
You need
should,
food.
or at least to get drunk.
Oh,
You could drink more.
not
Wait,
the
wait,
healthiest
I
option,
could
but
imbibe,
food,
yes.
food would be good.
wait, Brody. You know this place a lot better than the rest of us. Where's a good place to get like who's the best street vendor for this?
I think the one down the street is good for a tip or two. Tells you where the best scores can be found.
This, oh,
You
that
move
sounds
throughout
good.
the city. Uh, Speaking of well, cults and faith in the church and such, Andy, as you move with your role, you also notice the things that your companions do, the marionettes of this long dog. As well, there are uh imagery of even just paper imagery of Saint Bernard. Uh, it seems, and perhaps you know this already from your time in the church, this individual banished a very bad dog. Long Dog was a creature that indulged in dark things and forces beyond their control, and became something horrific and sought the destruction of canine civilization entirely, banished into perhaps another realm, perhaps destroyed entirely. The legends differ on the mercy of Saint Bernard, but regardless, Long Dog is gone thanks to the Saint Bernard. These are the things you
So
notice through.
as, okay, go
Please,
ahead.
please.
I was gonna say, so as the group is kind of headed in the direction of the market with all the street vendors, because food is yes, please. And Andy is always down to eat, because yes, food, yes, please. She's kind of relaying this as the marionette is being kind of weaving its way kind of through the crowd and just kind of expounding upon it, really not really paying attention who's listening. She's just kind of like rattling all this off and, hey, did you know da 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 da. And probably occasionally if Mr. Doctor kind of falls behind or kind of goes, she'll kind of like scoop an arm around him and like, no, and keep going and just keep like relaying all of this her knowledge from her time in the church with all of these, the stories and the parables and everything.
Excellent. I must ask, sorry to cut you off, Mr. Doctor, but just out
No
of
problem.
curiosity, for detail's sake,
Mhm.
is there any particular ending that Andy describes or in this regard with Saint Bernard and Long Dog? Was, in Andy's opinion, was Long Dog banished, destroyed, sealed away?
Uh, the most dramatic of the three, which would probably be sealed away, because that always leaves the possibility of, it it shows the bravery and the mercy of Saint Bernard to, not utterly destroy this creature, but to recognize it for what it was, and locking it away for the safety of all. That plays right into her belief system. So yeah, that would be the ending, and it's also the most dramatic and for the story.
Understood. Dear friends, your companion is expanding your knowledge perhaps on this subject. The scene is yours. Luis Corgi will get to what you notice in just a moment.
So wait, how bad of a dog you have to be to get sealed away?
Really bad. Yeah. Just destruction and just wanton, just vengeance all over. I mean, just it was a bad dog. I mean, really, really bad dog.
The
So
pursuit of knowledge can lead to dark places.
That's why I don't like libraries.
Like becoming boring. boring is certainly one of the things that you should be an entertaining fellow. You make your friends happy. You don't need to be boring. You know, if you're getting information and it's not entertaining your friends, why are you doing it?
Knowledge doesn't really mean anything if there's no use for it. I could learn everything about colors, but if I can't identify something out in the woods, why'd I learn all my colors?
By smell, you should identify by smell, I think.
Well, yeah, but then there are some animals like, oh, there was one time I heard like it was a rumor. I didn't even think it was real, but it was like, I think that someone told me it was called parrots, but they go by like the parrot now. There was like one of them that was really mean in the forest once. I don't know any of the colors they had on them. And they didn't even smell that strong. It was like dusty and almost like seeds and poop. A lot of poop.
This is consistent. They're not civilized like we are.
Man, maybe Long Dog was trying to be a bird.
Well, it's possible.
And do you
Well,
do any of the story?
if that bird really wanted to basically wipe out pretty much all of dog kind except for its devoted and mindless followers,
Mm,
and I
I
don't
don't.
really think so. He really acted more like cat than a dog.
Is it
That's
bad
a
luck to mention cats in and they're actually like looking around to kind of see if there are any cats nearby when they make that comment because they're kind of realizing they've spoken out of their ass saying that.
Without a doubt, there are cats nearby, and actually, this leads into what you notice throughout this. You notice the things that your companions do as you walk, and with a 21, Louis Corgi, um, you pick out on this day of celebration. Of course, dog kind is the prominent members of the celebration. There are a few other rodents. There are a few cats, but you begin to take in that there are a good number of cats. Not inconsequential. It's sort of in groups of twos and threes. And there are several groups as you pass. They are walking alongside. It's not a cause for alarm. There was a war long ago between dogs and cats, but it is strange that they're out in such number for a celebration a of a fellow canine. Um, just perhaps interesting.
Hmm. One, two. Pretty sure the next number is 3, 7. Hey, Andy. Quick question.
yeah. Wow, did you see that? Look. And I kind of scoop Mr. Doctor, like, look at that. That's amazing. That's awesome.
Oh my.
Look at that.
Uh,
What's up, Louis? Kind of busy here.
that you know, no, I saw a really cool color, but it's okay. Rodent, 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 and they're just poking at them, trying their best to whisper as they're poking at Broden.
What?
I don't. I'm not smart like Andy, but I think there's. Is it me or is there a lot more cats than normal?
And at the word cats, I kind of stop what I'm looking at and I kind of turn to Louis. Cats? Wait.
Yeah,
It's like all of a sudden, like she's looking around, like, wait a second, and noticing the cats everywhere.
I'm
Okay.
sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. I don't want to assume things about people. Just I didn't know if Saint Bernard did anything in his time that endeared him to cats, so I was But maybe it's nothing. It's not consequential. You know, it's Sadie. It's a festival. Everyone's just trying to be happy.
So based on my background, what role really did cats play in that? What information about cats was part of that those stories and parables and whatnot?
In regards to Saint Bernard or the in that parable,
It
uh,
more mainly towards the long dog.
yeah, there was very little. Matter of fact, there was very little to be said of cats in this particular story, but let's have a roll, um, see if there's anything you might divine that could be useful in this scenario, anything that might be hidden knowledge. Um, Intellect, and if you have no history, I'd also take no culture if you'd like. I'm very open to
No
rolls.
religion? No religion?
I like it too. Yeah, absolutely. As a
Okay.
note, I don't believe anyone's ever played in the game that I've run. I can be bartered with. So there, if there's a skill that you think might be better, throw it out. And if there's an argument to be made for it, we can absolutely talk about a replacement.
Okay. 12, I have nothing in intellect and no religion.
And as I say, I
So
can be bartered with. Go ahead, please.
15?
I like it. As I say, I can be bartered with. I'm very lenient. So if there's even a smidgen of an argument to be made, I'm very open. With a 15, uh, it is said to some degree that the cats may have been responsible. It's not entirely in some versions of the story. Saint Bernard is a very perhaps mythical figure is a stretch, but the legend grows every year, it seems. But there is said in some versions of the story that the cats were the ones that led to Long Dog's corruption. He was just the the family and lineage of Long Dog, even the name is forgotten to time. Banished, sort of a situation where if you speak the old name, it's taboo almost. So that is largely forgotten. Um, Long Dog became a creature of horror and malice. Um, so no family, no breed to speak of, nothing like that. And how he became like that is through perhaps the seeking of knowledge, perhaps a dark power corruption. Um, but it is said the cats, in some version of the story, of course, it is said that the cats had something to do with it, um, feeding into the ambition of this creature or promises of power. It's difficult to say, but there is something that says that the cats had something to do with it.
Well, it's funny you should mention cats. I mean, according to a lot of the stories and the legends that I overheard from in in the church, it was the cats who were the source of the corruption. And she's looking around and kind of like mentally noting, like, yeah, there are a lot of cats around.
There are many necromancers amongst the cats. They have an inborn facility for playing with the dead.
It's not
Okay.
to leap to conclusions. Occasionally, cats can be quite nice. Sure, there's some bad ones, but we shouldn't assume all of them are bad.
Yeah, I shouldn't draw too much from it. Just I didn't know if they had done something to the cats or if the cats trying to integrate. They just kind of picked this festival or what, but just
Well,
strange.
Well,
well,
you know what they say.
What
That
do
two
they
bones in the
say?
morning is better than one bone at night.
Oh, I have no idea. I was merely auditioning the phrase for future social interaction.
Audition.
well, well,
Oh,
it is
that's
a
one of those
festival
fancy.
and there are lots and lots of dogs and obviously lots of cats around. We should be wary. we should keep an eye out. But that doesn't stop the fun, because I think we're almost at that food cart and I'm hungry.
Ooh. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, I wonder what they're gonna have. I wonder if they have like any stories. Oh, I hope they have a story. I hope they hunted what they got. I need stories.
All I know is that smells like meat. And that sounds, yeah, that smells yummy.
Hmm. I imagine Louis and Andy are getting progressively faster the closer they get to the cart.
You reach the food cart. Broden, you know the individual who runs this sort of stall. His name is Tahin. He is of likely of the sort of Doberman family. He seems to be not exactly overwhelmed with customers, but a lot busier than usual as he deals out his product. There are a few things to choose from here. There are, of course, carnivorous options as well as vegetarian. Um, but he seems preoccupied as you approach. There is a gathering around the stall. The scene is yours.
Roast lizard. I haven't had roast
Uh,
lizard on a stick in ages.
How does it go, Tahin? Are you going well? Is everything all right?
Quite well. It seems to be a good business day. And yourself? How have you been, Broden?
Well, moderate success. No rest for the well, wicked is not quite the right description, but you get the idea.
Of course. What can I do you for, though? I
Well, you seem distracted. Is something wrong?
no, nothing wrong. Just a lot of customers, and I'd love to stay in chat. I'd love to catch up. Perhaps when I close up for the day, you can let me know where you're staying, and I can come by. We can swap some stories.
Oh, yes, that would be good. My friends are wanting food.
Right. What can I get for you? I've got uh some meat options. Or what's your preference?
Oh, you know me. I like little meat.
Got just the thing for you. Feeling white meat or dark meat today?
Oh, dark.
He whips up something uh looks to be covered in some sort of gravy, um, atop a bed of what can only be described as rice. It it's almost like a curry dish that he provides for you, Broden. Um, it's a sort of catch-all stall. So what is present here, there is meats, gravies, curries, as well as some vegetarian options. You will have to forgive me as a story guide. I don't know vegetarian food. So if there is a specific thing you guys are hoping for, I'm sorry I'm ignorant.
All good.
But I know
Probably,
meat.
probably some kind of uh, foraged like plate where probably some mushroom, foraged mushrooms and edible flowers and leaves from various plants, probably berries, that sort of thing, I would guess would probably be in there.
Understood. I do know enough to ask on the sweeter side or on the more savory.
For the vegetarian?
Yeah, this is such a weird detail to ask. I'm so sorry.
No.
Details flesh out stories. Never apologize.
Uh and this is just me talking, not my character, because my character is really looking at all those like barbecue lizards on a stick. And probably already handing like one or two of them to Mr. Doctor just to like, here, you gotta try this. They're crunchy, they're awesome. But for a vegetarian, it would probably be like it would be a little bit of both. So you would have a little bit of the sweet and a little bit of the savory from the mushrooms, which are generally a meat substitute for vegetarian and vegan. And then with the berries, that would give a little bit of sweetness and probably, you know, a little bit of oil and maybe some herbs thrown in for flavoring. So
Perfect. I
20
appreciate
years,
the
20 years in the restaurant industry. I kind of have a couple
you're
ideas in
a
my head.
diamond. Thank you so much. Yeah, heavy lifting gone. Thank you so much. This is what is provided. Um, I'm so embarrassed. But yeah, this is what is provided as a vegetarian option. Mr. Doctor, you are passed off some roast lizard, but of course there is an option to choose from as well. So if you'd like a preference or anything you might see that spies your fancy.
He
Oh,
samples the lizard and he says, I will consume any edible fungi you have. It reminds me of home.
look, he has roast vegetables over there. He's got the forest, that little forest plate over there with those. Oh, you know what? I'm not a vegetarian, but those don't look too bad.
Hmm.
But I'll take your roast lizard. You don't want this to go to waste.
Uh, as Louis goes up, they kind of look, but then they look to the vendor. Oh, I don't mean to take a lot of your time, but have you noticed anything strange around for the festival?
Nothing strange. I think it seems to be. I come here every year, and I've usually like to be positioned a little bit further back, but I wanted to be a little more adventurous this year and get a little closer to the platform. But no, nothing strange. Anything in particular you're looking for?
Uh, it would be really rude of me to say things if I'm not sure, but just I wanted to know if you'd seen anything maybe I hadn't seen yet. I'll take the mushroom and forest bird that I can't remember the name of on a stick, please.
Of course.
And they'll
If I see anything of note or interest, I'll be sure to bring it to your attention. Any friend of Broden is a friend of mine.
and anyone who's got stories is a double friend of mine. And if you need to get in touch with me, just look for another corgi. At least a third of them in the city are probably directly related to me.
Set right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got Lacey, you got Lily, you got Lola, you got Lucy. We don't talk about Lynn so much, but we still love her. You got Lathan, you got Latham.
I think
I'm
Lathan might be up front. Got a few friends that are closer to the platform.
ooh, I might try and get next to him. Yeah, our parents and our aunts and uncles just called us the pups that gave them L's, so they just gave us all L names. Anyway, thank you.
Come on, we're
Uh,
gonna miss it. Everybody get your
Yes.
stuff.
I think a part of his bloodline might have involved some rabbits along the way.
Hey,
That seems biologically unlikely.
Dean passes you all your food. The transitory space is not too far from the platform. Getting a good seat, or rather standing area, um is a bit difficult. But anyone who would like to may make a roll, and I'm going to leave this entirely up to you in terms of attribute and skill. Any method or means you'd like to use, if you'd like to get closer, stay further back. Uh, it's entirely up to you how you would like to go about getting a good view.
Oh, I work my way to the front. I'm dragging Mr. Doctor with me.
Um,
I
You're
allow
gonna
myself to be
people whether
dragged.
you like it or
Ah.
not. It's okay.
I Louis is going to attempt to roll with the perform skill to try and join whatever dance they are seeing is nearby to make people notice them that they're trying to get through. Can that work?
Understood? By all means.
Broden is going to climb a tree.
Let's see. Math is certainly. I need to play a corgi more often because the dice are blessing them.
I love
That is well, not 20, but it's a 19.
excellent. 19. Broden, you said you were climbing a tree?
Yeah, it is his sort of lanky German Shepherd form is going to climb into a tree and just sort of hide in the branches.
Understood. All of you relatively staying near together or kind of spreading out amongst yourselves?
As as close as can.
Uh,
Understood.
within eyesight, ideally, but if it's not, then is what it is.
Understood. Mr. Doctor, I think the choice may have been taken from you as Andy drags you through the crowd. Um,
Yep. But he doesn't fight too hard. He just kind of allows himself to be led.
understood,
And
understood.
and as I work my way through, I don't want if anyone like kind of turns and kind of gives me a little stink eye because I'm trying to work her through. I will use my puppy dog eyes to make sure that nobody is mad that I am basically pushing my way through to get to it the best possible vantage point.
Understood. Can you define puppy dog eyes? This is a first uh for
So this
me.
is, yeah, puppy dog eyes is a first trick. I get a boon on presence check. All my presence checks involving making friends or being polite.
Excellent. So let's do presence. Do you have persuade skill?
I do.
You may
I
certainly use your persuade, and you'll have a boon. So roll twice, take the higher number.
Okay. 16, 17, 18, 19. So that's a 22.
Excellent, excellent.
So I am going to work my way through the crowd. Oh, excuse me. Pardon me. Sorry. He needs to see. He's never seen before. I mean, look at it. He's not going to see anything from here. I am so sorry. Thank you so much for letting us through. Thank you. Oh, yes. I know. Isn't this great? Isn't it a wonderful festival to be in? Yes, I know. This is just a momentous day. Come on, come on, come on. And
Absolutely
I'm
perfect.
under my arm bringing Mr. Doctor with me as I move through until I get to the best possible vantage point, especially for, towards the front. And because he's a rat, he's probably shorter than I am, really making sure that he's like right there in the front so he can see everything. Now you really get to
Excellent.
see all this. All these ceremonies are just so full of pomp and circumstance. I mean, you just can't beat this.
You move through the crowd, and with the explanation you give to the other onlookers, especially with um the fact that you point out like he's never seen, this is his first time. People are very accommodating, like, oh, this is your first first festival, by all means, and they part the way for you all. Um, this gives a perfect choice of where you'd like to be. You may, if with the role itself, can of course be up front and right up to the stage if you'd like.
Yeah, I will get us as absolutely like right as close as possible. So if we can get like right up to the front, right up to the stage so he can see, and I'll make sure he's actually standing in front of me. Like as a very kind fellow companion and party, I will make sure that he has the absolute best vantage point, which means of course that he is right there exposed to everybody because he's right there in front.
Understood. Luis Corky, you make your way as well. Um, takes by all means take some narrative control. How exactly would you like to move through? With your role, it's impressive, but if you may feel free to take some narrative control if you so choose.
There's a little bit of scrambling as they're trying to look for something. They're a hunter, but part of their time is collecting stories and the occasional song. And they find something, give it a tap. Yeah, that's a good drum beat. And they just start beating on it and trying to lead people sing as they try and lead like a conga line to the front. There once was a saint that's named Bernard. Once was the best, one of the best good dogs. Led us to the insert lyrics here. I just completely blank, but
I
they're
love it.
trying.
That's
There's a
I
moment or two
absolutely
where they're
love
like
it.
skip a beat.
Absolutely love it. And this is an impressive method of getting to the front. You as well may take your choice. You may be with your friends up close and right up on front of the stage, It's entirely up to you where you end or you break away from the conga line that has started.
Yeah, they'll break away once they're near the front, look and see if they see any family, maybe wave to someone, wave to Brody in a tree if they see them, but probably not since it's so crowded.
There are a few corgis that have been at the front. It looks like perhaps they got here early. As you wave, they kind of get excited. They wave back. They kind of drift closer. Um, Broden, as you're in the tree, kind of looking, you can see your friends. It's a good view from here. Um, and in a matter of seconds, you can see Louis Corgi has been surrounded by a small pack, maybe with them included, about six corgis altogether now, happy, smiling, greeting one another.
So normal behavior for the corgis.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, we can't take him anywhere without him finding at least 5 family members. So
I
this
know
is nothing unusual.
Stand
Mr.
by
Doctor's
my-
getting the full. Sorry, go ahead.
I stand by my rabbit comment.
So, Mr. Doctor, you said you wanted to work on being social. So, that's Lillian. This is Lacey. That's Lulu. Oh, Lynn's in the back. Oh, she's still with him. Okay, I'll talk to her later. But Mr. Doctor, this is my family. Say hi.
Greetings.
Mr. Doctor, the moment you give greetings, they are, for lack of a better term, they're on you. They shaking your hand and excitedly introducing themselves, asking you questions. Exposure therapy has never been so blunt. It's a lot. It's quite a lot.
He's a little overcharged, but with Endy's help, it's he's kind of immersed himself in it, so he's just kind of going with it, just like, yeah, hello, yes, he's not overthinking things as much as he.
Excellent. In a matter of moments, you'll situate yourselves. You find your place in the crowd. Things don't. Oh, please, please, please.
I was gonna say, and once I get Mr. Doctor's kind of set in the front, and I'm not worried about Louis because Louis is finding all of his family and they just like attract each other. Then I'll make sure Broden is also like brought to the front on the other side. So you'll have Mr. Doctor, on one side and Broden on the other. Be like,
Broden is in a tree.
oh, you've gotten
Hiding-
away from me, out of
Yeah,
my reach.
Yeah, he's hiding in a tree. He's not far
Okay.
away, but he's hiding in a tree.
Okay, so I look around for Broden to try to bring him up, and when I don't, and I'll kind of look around and oh, God, is he doing this? Yeah, there he is. And I will, God,
I see an
Okay,
opportunity here
fine.
to have some contest. So if you kindly and if you would kindly make me a roll of your what is attached to notice. I lost it.
Wisdom.
Thank you so much. And then Broden, I believe it's not called stealth in this edition. It's sneak, I believe it is
Sneak.
called.
Yeah. Sneak plus agility.
Yes, please.
Right.
You remember to add your relevant experience bonuses, and if you have any boons that might help you here, by all means.
Okay. Well, that'll make things easier.
Yeah, no, he's gonna win.
Yeah,
That's a two. That's a 2 on the die. He's gonna.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
I
gonna be
got-
able to find him.
yeah, I got a 23, so
Yeah, I'll look
Excellent.
around for Broden and be like, oh, he's gone again.
Broden, perhaps you
He's gonna miss out.
perhaps
He-
you see go on, go on.
I was going to say they would know that he does the Batman trick a lot. You turn your back and he's gone.
Excellent. Your companions, all of you gathered, or at least most of you, The ceremony begins not gradually, but suddenly. The crowd doesn't die down in silence. It is quickly silenced by a single drum beat and then a chime. It sounds like wind chimes are being jingled. Um, this brings the hubbub of the square to a dull roar, and taking to the platform, this sort of makeshift, this quick-built stage is an individual from the Church of Man, uh, dressed in sort of priestly adornments. They take to the stage, gathered by other disciples and other perhaps other priests of some sort. They take to the stage and look out amidst the crowd. This individual is gray in the fur around the muzzle, um, likely experienced and has given this speech a number of times. Uh, but they begin to speak. And they begin, brothers and sisters of Pugmire, gather around and lend your ears to a tale of valor and righteousness. A tale that is passed down through generations and continues to inspire our hearts and guide our paws. They go into, rather than give you a full speech, that'd be insane. Who would write that for a one shot? It tells the story of Saint Bernard and how Long Dog's influence was insidious, whispering lies and breeding mistrust even amongst the most close and the most tightly knit of communities in Pugmire. Uh, but a hero emerged, Saint Bernard, a dog of unwavering faith and boundless courage, guided by the teachings of the Church of Man. He embarked on a perilous journey to confront the Long Dog and rid the land of its malevolent presence. It goes into more more detail about the sacred text detailing that the Long Dog and Saint Bernard's battle was one of wits and wisdom. It is a dramatic retelling of the legend. And you can see throughout there are children that are kind of enamored by this, even some individuals of adult stature, sort of inspired perhaps. Uh, it's a it's a community thing, and it's in the simplest sense, it brings this community together, and it shows that this town, this city, is united in this moment. It's a beautiful thing to witness. Um, as this tale is given, I'd like to go around and get some insight into all of your minds, or rather your characters' minds, as you're hearing this. And of course, if you have questions about the tale or the legend, by all means. But let's go around and see what everyone's would be feeling or would be thinking during this moment. Let's start. Let's start with Louis Corky.
Louis is just absolutely pumped. Like they have like one of their like nephews on their shoulders, which only gives them like an extra maybe 4 feet up, but they're about as excited as the kids. It's a great story. It's a story of fight against monsters. It's a story of pushing evil away from the common folk. This is what they live for. Even if it's a religious context, that doesn't deter them from it.
Excellent. Now we move to our perhaps former, perhaps even current devout Indy.
So Indy is going to be listening to this from the perspective of, I've heard this, like, say the festival of Saint Bernard is something that happens on a fairly regular basis. So having grown up in that environment, she's been a part of a few of them. She remembers what it feels like to be a young pup, a puppy just starting to hear and experience these. So she's kind of taking joy in seeing the younger set, like maybe those hearing it for the first time, or really kind of it starting to absorb, kind of like a parent watches a child, the magic of Christmas kind of thing, and kind of re-experiencing that. She knows that Mr. Doctor is probably never heard any of this, and since he's really the only one around, because she's not really Louise off with the family, and she knows he's having a good time, but Mr. Doctor is hearing all this for the first time, so she's kind of being able to kind of watch and see how that goes through, and remembering how kind of good it feels, how much she really kind of enjoyed being, at least most of the time, in that environment, and just allowing that kind of feel kind of flowing through. It's not a like bouncy frenetic energy kind of happiness, but it is more of that familiar, almost like this is like that bit of home in during the holidays kind of thing. That's where
Absolutely.
she has.
Excellent. That leads us into Mr. Doctor. This is your first time. This is your first experience with this. What are your thoughts?
He is absorbing the story. He enjoys getting the mythology and maybe what it tells him about this culture he's now in, and he's noting the sense of community with everyone, which he hasn't had it since his cult, and he thinks perhaps he made the right choice in leaving and conducting this morality experiment of his.
Absolutely. And that leads us to our eye in the sky, or amongst the tree leaves. Rodin.
Broden, being more from a criminal background, is a little more cynical about watching it. He thinks that it's probably not. It probably didn't work out the way they describe it. That the Saint Bernard was probably a little more clever than pious, to have succeeded in the first place. But he also recognizes the value of a good story for a con. And, you know, this may be a con, but it's a useful con and it makes everybody feel better. So he doesn't feel like giving any grief to it.
Fair enough. And it's as you say, there's a moment in this speech where this individual details Long Dog's deceitful words and dark powers seeking to break Saint Bernard's spirit. Um, and they specifically detail, yet our noble saint stood firm, his heart filled with the light of the church and the strength of his convictions. And perhaps this elicits an eye roll of some sort. In the midst of this, as you kind of break away from looking at the stage, you may feel free to make a roll to notice some stuff. So this will be your cunning and notice, I believe, is the attribute attached to it.
Okay. Check. Make sure. Cunning. And notice, does any of my tricks like trap sense or smell magic help at
Smell
all?
magic would.
Okay. So that gives me a boon, I think.
By all means, roll 2 die, take the higher number.
No, it just allows me to detect magic, period.
Understood, understood.
If I roll difficulty 15. So, but that is not going to do it, I don't think. Total of 7.
Understood. From your vantage point, as you kind of give the eye roll, you do notice a few things. Again, you see likely what most of your companions are seeing, the enamored children, the inspired adults. But as well, you see some individuals kind of stepping back from the platform. Not directly up, but you see some movement, some figures moving throughout the crowd that are mm, not quite enthralled. Hooded figures, which is not entirely uncommon, uh, but it is something that you note.
He will pay attention to the hooded figures more than the show for a bit, just because maybe something interesting is about to happen.
Indeed. As the speech draws to a close, one of the, well, two of the these disciples that are kind of in the back of the stage begin to open a box and they reveal the reverent artifact itself, the golden collar of Saint Bernard.
Oh,
It is not gilded, really. It is a simple thing, um, well cared for. It is a neck piece. It is lined, a single strip of leather lined with some silver thread. A single golden, almost looks like a coin, is at the front. It is a simple thing, yet when it comes out of its box, there are definitely some oohs and ahs that go around.
yeah,
As
I'm
the
one.
as the collar is presented and the individual begins to raise it up, he speaks and continues and begins to come to a close with his speech. Uh, the final bit reads, For as long as we hold true to the teachings of the Church of Man, no darkness can overcome us, and no evil can take root in our hearts. May the spirit of Saint Bernard watch over us, and may we always walk in the light of his example. There
Amen.
is more pomp and ceremony as the collar is raised. And again, even without the sort of religious connotation that is present here, people are excited, uh, quiet about it. This is a more reverent ceremony. But there are those chimes again that take the air, as well as some incense kind of spread around the stage. Individual holds the collar up the entire time, as it looks like the Church of Man is saying a prayer or a blessing of some sort. Uh, Broden, as you kept your eye on these hooded figures, movement quickly takes or gives way to action as these figures flourish their cloaks and drops things. They drop or throw things on the ground, and smoke begins to fill the crowd. There are gasps of confusion, as well. The those on the platform kind of look out and peer out. This individual, again, very aged, kind of strains his eyes, and this is when all of you get a closer view, down and in the thick of things, of what Broden is witnessing from above. Uh, Individuals nearby throw things onto the stage. This smoke causes, or rather, these vials of liquid or some sort of gas begins to take the stage. It just appears to be smoke. It does cause a bit of coughing, uh, but there is confusion, not exactly chaos, and not exactly panic just yet, but there's confusion and worry that quickly spreads. From here, um, individuals rush the stage. Hooded figures um, move onto the stage and begin to fight their way up toward the individual holding the collar. The disciples have spread out to sort of keep the artifact safe. There is a moment of confusion but then you are not everyday citizens. In this moment of confusion, while others take stock and have that sort of fight or flight, you kick into gear. What would all of you like to do?
Well, when the smoke starts and people start to, probably the general masses will start to probably panic. Um, I like, no, 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 no. This can't be. This cannot be. Come, Mr. Doctor. We must protect it. And I will spring forward towards the stage to try to uh help make sure that the the those of the religious order who are there showing off the collar, make sure the collar is safe, make sure the more importantly, actually make sure that those of the church are safe. And we'll start scanning the crowd and looking to see where the sources of all of the chaos is happening.
Understood. Scanning the crowd.
Readying my weapons.
Understood.
Oh,
I will have a roll from you. It will be
yeah.
I believe cunning and search. Of it, of course, like I said, I'm very lenient. If there's something else that you think might be more prevalent, by all means.
Well, notice, because I guess I would look to see.
Yeah, by all means.
I mean, try to notice, I guess, what's out of order. So let's come on. Yes, okay, there we
Mhm.
go. 14. Now I gotta do math. 16.
16. Looking out into the crowd, for the source, or just general whole area.
Generally taking in, it's basically kind of doing a scan. I'm not searching for anything specific, but I am kind of looking to see if I notice anything. I mean, there are probably people panicking, but who is not panicking? Who may be coming forward towards this direction versus running away from it? Just kind of taking in all of it and seeing what I notice that doesn't seem to that seems to be out of place.
Understood. I have noted your role before I reveal anything crazy. Let's have the rest of the group's actions. Whoever would like to go. It's in free reign.
Uh, after the initial shock, what's going on? Louis' immediate process is bad dogs are people getting on stage together, team, need one for information. And they're going to try and find one of the people leading this little charade and just tackle them. They just need
Understood.
one for information.
Understood. Let's have a roll from you. Um I'll give you free reign on this. There's a to tackle someone is some might say like a might-based action, but in my experience, dexterity could also come into play, or rather agility in this particular system. But it's up to you. Your choice.
We'll go with uh we'll go with a more dexterous way of going about it. Again, they're not very tall, so they just got to make up for that force with pure speed. They
Mhm.
got tiny legs. They got to build that stuff up.
Of course, of course.
Well, that is I don't have skill for that, so that is only going to be an 11.
Understood. I have noted your role. Uh, Broden and Mr. Doctor, whoever would like to go first.
I think Broden, uh, one quick question. Do these nefarious others, were they able to see Broden hiding in the tree?
That is an excellent question. Do you recall your initial role?
23.
Oh, let's find out together.
I was proud of that role.
Absolutely not. You are a mystery to all.
then he is going to try and disable one with a crossbow shot.
Excellent. Let's have that roll.
He is Dogman.
And I believe because I'm hidden, I get a boon on that.
Absolutely.
So I rolled an 18 on the die plus my agility, which is a +1. So and I imagine I'm proficient, so +3. So
Yes, you have oh, I forget the word they use in this system. But yes, proficiency. Um,
yeah,
excellent. So that brings it to a 24 if my math is right. Never been my strong suit. Is that correct? 24?
20, uh, 22, I think. Yeah.
22. Understood. I have that roll as well. Mr. Doctor.
Do I see a grouping of enemies anywhere? Try to-
Yes, these individuals, like I said, are taking the stage, um, as well, sort of. There, of course, this being a reverence ceremony or a higher key sort of thing, there were guards present that are being accosted by these individuals. So there is a larger group near the stage entrance.
All right. In that case, Mr. Doctor is going to take out his magical focus, which is a large mechanical syringe of glass and metals and with multiple tubes that kind of rotate, and he rotates to one and he injects himself and he shudders a bit and holds out his hand, which turns, or his paw, excuse me, which turns from a rat paw into a writhing sort of spider body and legs. And there's some kind of opening, maybe a mouth at the palm, and it vomits up strands of web as I cast web and try and get as many of the malefactors as I can in a 20-foot cube.
Narratively horrific, mechanically
Nope.
heroic. I love it.
Don't like that
Yeah,
at
that-
all.
That's definitely going to be distracting. He'll be like, "What the? Oh, are you?
Nope.
What the?
Don't like that one bit.
Nope.
Excellent. And so you cast web. What does that entail? Is that it's not, it's a roll from them, correct?
That's right. It's a let's see here. The webs fill 20-foot cube touching a point, blah, 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 blah. The webs are hard to move through and partially obscure the area. Each character who starts their turn in the webs or enters the webs during their turn becomes immobile, but they can use it's an agility test to see if they escape that. If they become
Excellent.
immobile, they have to make a might check against the spell difficulty to break their way out. The webs are also flammable.
Understood. So there will be about 4 individuals caught in this. If you position this in such a way, you will avoid hitting the guards if you so choose, or if you'd like to kind of catch everyone, it's entirely up to you.
I'll avoid the
Um,
guards as much as possible.
Understood.
I know my powers are weird looking to outsiders, even though they're beautiful. So I don't want to ruin my
We have
reputation.
different definitions of beauty, but you know what? That's
Our
all
aesthetics run
okay.
along different lines. Yes.
There's definitely going to be like a few moments when Mr. Doctor is like off somewhere after all this is done, where Indy's just kind of gonna lean over to the rest of the group and go, "Did you know about this? Did you know he could?" Because I didn't. I what? What?
No.
Cult.
So
This is
for
the difference between the church and the cult.
for brevity's sake, rather than roll 4 individual checks, I've rolled 1 die for everyone, to their detriment, a natural 1. So,
Nice.
these individuals are caught in this web. All these things happen at once. Web is cast. The horrific visage of Mr. Doctor extending the hand, turning into sort of long, spindly spider legs, and the shooting of the perhaps a mouth. Cast web, catching 4 individuals off guard and now entangled in this substance as well. Broden, you fire your shot. You strike an individual in the leg, your goals met here. You hinder an individual who is uh doing their best. This robed figure uh just it looks like trying to cause panic and be a sort of distraction, perhaps. Um, it creates a moment for the individuals in that section of this crowd to stream away rather than being accosted or hindered in their escape by this individual. For Envy and Louis, um, you with your roles, you're able to scan and take stock of the situation, gather information here. Um, with Mr. Doctor's web, it is you are given more than was initially um acquired through your roles. Um, what you all see, including yourself, Broden, giving having a bird's eye view, is the individuals near the stage. This revelation is from these individuals. They are hooded and cloaked, but the web is fired, and it's a sticky substance. It is a sort of blast. Um, thus, clothing is likely to, be skewered or not skewered, thrown back. It reveals some of their faces. The hoods go back, pulled away as they try to struggle in the substance. There are a number of individuals of the rodent variety with bleached white fur that are captured here in your web, Mr. Doctor.
Plot twist.
Uh, in this moment of revelation and confusion, uh, one of the individuals on stage uh tackles down the elderly priest that is holding up the collar, snatches it from his hands, and begins to look from beneath the hood. You can see that he's looking for a way out, a way to flee the situation. Uh, this moves to you. Their actions are, of course, spread throughout. They look like they're causing panic, providing a sort of distraction for this individual's getaway. Um, but their actions don't interact with you really, except for the ones that are struggling out of the web. And that is a might roll, correct?
That is correct. Might versus difficulty 16.
Understood. I will roll that as we go throughout again your rounds of actions. Whoever would like to go first.
Well, upon seeing not cats underneath the ropes, Indy has to take just a moment pause to go, wait a second, that's not what, didn't see that coming. They look like, wait, if they look like, that means they're up to no good. So here's the difference between the church and a cult. Charge! So Indy is going to you said one of them grabbed the collar stuff.
Looking
Okay,
for a way to escape on the stage currently.
that's the one. That's it's gonna take a second, but that's the one she's going to hone in on, and that's the one she is going to charge after.
Understood.
Sorry, Mr. Doctor, you're on your own now.
That's
Uh,
fine.
The stage is elevated, but it is not terribly so. It's not like two stories or anything like that. It's not even a single story. You can climb up if you so choose. You We have no map. So theater of the minding this. Only using a chunk of your movement, you could attempt to reach the individual. You'd be right up on them as the priest was up front in front of the stage, holding the object in reverence, now knocked down. This is where he's taken his place. So if you'd like to be up on that person, you can use your full movement and make your way up.
I would like to do so. because
Excellent.
now of single mind, and that is where she is headed.
Excellent. That is your movement. You may, of course, take actions to stop this individual if you so choose. Or you could let him get away. It's entirely up to you. That's always an option.
Oh no, 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 no. Of course not. No, that's not happening. Absolutely not.
Figured I'd try.
Yeah. You always have a choice, but not in this case. So yep, nope. She is going to try to inject herself in front of the individual holding this, attempting to get away, the white-haired, white-furred individual. That's not
Uh,
yours. Put that back.
Excellent. Getting closer, you recognize that this is again of the rodent variety, tucked along the waist, or rather wrapped around the waist, a long rat's tail. Up close and personal with it, you get more features. Heavy scar on the right eye, um, gnarled teeth, a very stereotypical image of an evil rat.
Well, let's see. I am definitely not trying to make friends or be polite because they're doing things that they should not be. So let's see. I'm looking at inspiring word. This maybe is a dog's presence. Okay. I actually will. I will use inspiring word, and which, if I'm reading this correctly, any ally within 60 feet who can see and or hear me, I shall be saying something highly encouraging, allowing them to immediately use stamina die to regain stamina points or spell points. This can be used as a supplemental action a number of times equal to the dog's presence before she needs to nap. Okay. So actually, come, my brethren, come, dogs of Pugmire. We must not let this let these fiends get away with disrupting our beautiful festival, and you shall not pass me with that collar.
Perfect. I love it.
So let's see. I guess that would be we'll do a presence roll.
I love it. Sounds
Handle
perfect.
animals.
I'll allow it. Why not?
Well, it's a rat. It's an animal. So presence is one of my primaries.
This will grant you a boon.
So
So
yes.
you'll roll 2 dice, take the higher number.
Nope, definitely got the first one. That's so 15, 16, 17, 18. So that is a 21 for handle. So I'm going to make them at least pause long enough for somebody either to swoop in and grab the collar away, or at least put me at an advantage for my next action against them.
Understood. I have noted down the roll and the intent. And with such a high roll, no secrets that this is likely a very successful thing that you do here. Who is next? What is the intent? Go on, Broden. You're muted, my friend.
Sorry. Roden will quickly reload the crossbow, and as he aims, he's going to aim at the rodent that has the collar. My intent is he's going to try and pin that the arm that's holding the collar against like a post or whatever structure might be nearby. He's basically aiming to shoot to make it so he can't leave.
Understood. This individual, having being uh in the process of being apprehended by Andy, is going to drop to all fours, giving you the perfect opportunity to pin one of the limbs to the ground, as they begin to prepare for a lengthy escape. You may go ahead and make your roll.
Well, that'll do. Natural 20.
All right. Um, We didn't have this discussion before stream or anything like that. Uh, I feel like most GMs that I've met have come to the agreement or come to the frame of mind that Notch 20 means auto success in actions and you are in combat, so absolutely this is done. You see a crossbow bolt fired from amidst the drifting smoke from the mysterious circumstances. Broden's on his Batman stuff again. And it pins the paw, um, pinning the paw and the collar to the stage. This individual looks around and kind of throws their head back in pain, revealing the hood falling back and revealing their face. Again, a very stereotypical image of a very evil rat. Um, but this is done here. Uh, that is Broden. Andy, um, who is up next, Mr. Doctor or Luis?
Mr. Doctor.
All right, I'm happy to go. I will approach the webbed rodents, and the spider hand reverts to a normal paw. But I am going to Mr. Doctor reaches into his psionic powers and causes the molecules of that paw to vibrate in such a way as to heat it up as I ready but don't throw a elemental ray of fire. And I look to my fellows in the web and I say, learned siblings, that's a highly flammable substance. I invite you to remain still. And I will, can you ready an action in this edition? I don't know.
I'd allow it.
right.
I'm gonna go ahead and say yes.
Yeah,
Continue,
I'll,
please.
I'll ready an elemental ray of fire if any of them break out.
Understood. In addition to this, and this is tagging on, this might be against the rules, as some might say, but I'd allow a presence and persuade if you are
All
so inclined.
right. I don't have persuade. My presence is bad, but it is one of my primary
Excellent.
traits. So,
I'll tell you what, because I was going to give you a boon to begin with
oh,
because
sweet.
it's threat of burning.
Mhm.
So I'll grant you also because you already have a boon because of your proficiency or your primaries. Take a +2 to this as well.
Sweet. So let's see. That is a 13.
13. I'm going to make a roll on my end. Cool. This is significantly horrifying, especially given the prior action. This is logically terrifying. It's something else entirely to have someone tell you, "Hey man, I'm gonna beat your ass," compared to, "Hey, you're standing in gasoline. I have a match. You shouldn't move." We will get to the repercussion of this once we have Louis action.
Well, it looks as if the collar is saved, but from where Louis is, because they're still in the crowd, or well, in where the crowd was, is anyone like hurt significantly or in immediate duress, like being accosted by the rats that may not be in the web or may have a serious injury?
The individuals up front. So you guys were closest to the stage.
Mhm.
A little further back, there is a number of individuals. They're kind of spread throughout. They've formed a sort of not barrier because it's sort of one every like 10 or so feet. But they seem to be trying to keep a ring of people in the vicinity to try to, again, provide cover, try to provide distraction. Um, as far as like who might be hurt, um, there are a few individuals that have been accosted and are bleeding. Um, no one is in threat of death at the moment. What I will say is, um, your family, the Corgi family that was kind of up close, attempted to flee. They are not great warriors, nor are they, heroes of this age. Um, they stick together as a pack might do. Um, that is of significance as you scan, and they your of your clan or of your pack of your family are being accosted.
I would like to roll. Or actually, I'm gonna just describe before I say what I'm planning. It looks like the main threat stage is taken care of. Anyone here could start something that hurts common people here. That can't happen. So people need an escape route. So this corgi is going to hop on the nearest box or rubble or something that gives them a little bit of elevation and just scream. Saint Bernard fought evil, and so can we. There are more of us than them. Swarm them now.
I
And
like
try
it.
and lead a charge to break the line.
I love it. You hop onto the nearest stall. You call out. You may make a presence and persuade if you so choose. Or again, like I said, I am very lenient. If you have another something else in mind,
I don't think perform technically does this since it's more of a commanding thing. So don't
I'd
have any on that. Hmm?
I'd allow perform if you so choose. It's an inspiring sort of performance here.
These dice just love to edge me on that 20 because that's going to be a 19 after all the odds on it.
Understood. So with a 19, having everyone's actions again, these things all taking place at once. NB, you leap onto the stage ready to do combat with this individual who's attempting to steal the collar. Broden's crossbow bolt pins this rat's paw to the stage, giving you an opening, if you so choose, on your next action. From this as well, um, Luis, you call to action the crowd, and the corgis are sort of instilled and watching your family lead the charge. Far be it from me to tell you how you might feel about the situation, but anyone else who might be looking on, it's an inspiring scene. Corgis are not known for their bravery, for their heroics, but they lead the charge, they swarm, and this causes the crowd to sort of filter and focus one area. Anything else that might be going wrong, it's a unified effort that pushes through and leads to an escape of the innocents in this area. Mr. Doctor, as you make your threat, there is a not a moment of pause, but a slight bit of hesitation as they weigh their options. And then there is one rat that says, "To the hells with this!" They rip off a brooch or an amulet of some sort off of themselves. The white fur is slowly given color, spreading from where the brooch is removed into a sort of patchy brownish gray. An illusion is taken from this individual. The others look at him very harshly and begin to accost him verbally. Um, this is you don't see a speck of white fur on them. This is a ruse, perhaps, or a cover, a sort of misdirect, um, which makes sense. You would know that this is not really the cult's uh, modus operandi. But this is revealed to you now. This leads into the next round. What would everyone like to do? The individual is pinned. I rolled for everyone in the web again, sort of for brevity. Uh, with a natural 3, they're stuck, and they're not with the threat of flames, they're not going to be moving. So those guys are kind of at your disposal. The individual on stage is a little more brave, not brave, but a little more unabashed in their escape. They are removing the crossbow bolt. It's gonna take their action, given the pain and everything they're going through. They're gonna remove that and begin to again. There's no clean avenue for escape. They look like they're ready to leap off the stage with the collar in hand. But Envy, you are close enough, or Envy, you are close enough to stop that if you so choose. Um,
It will take a bit of effort to ignore the corgi NATO that is going on through the crowd, because this would be something fascinating for her. But ahead of her, she is bound and determined that collar is not leaving the stage. And instead of doing a massive amount of damage with her cutlass out, she is going to smack the hand that is holding the collar with the flat of her blade, like almost very, Catholic
dog.
school nun,
Yeah.
Catholic school nun with the ruler, bad dog, bad rats, very bad rats. And we're gonna try and knock that collar at least to the ground, because at least then we have a chance. We're gonna start
Understood.
that. So okay, so I guess that would be some kind of an attack. Well, I have the weapons aptitude. I can talk this morning. Well, let's just roll and see what we go with here. Yay! That is a 19 on the die.
Excellent.
This would be a might roll, which is one of her primaries. So 20, 21, 20. Yep. So at least a 21. I don't think I need to roll. No, we're just gonna take the 19. Just gonna go with that. So 21.
Excellent.
Yep. And again, she's not using the edge. She's using the flat. She's just bad rat. Put that down.
Understood. You do this. It will cause some damage. It's not going to be, terribly brutal, but anyone who's suffered the Catholic school nun ruler bit knows that that's not okay.
No, it's gonna sting like hell for
Yeah.
a little while. Yeah.
And with the flat of a sword, I can only imagine the increased pain as it is done. They look up and there's no call of pain, there's no cry out. An instinctual sound comes from this individual that doesn't quite match their description. And you see the individual sort of pull back, the ears tuck against the skull, and the creature hisses.
I knew it. Bad cat. Bad
The
cat. I want to smack him the second time just for doing that. Besmirch the bad. Besmirch the name of cult. Wait. No, bad cat.
Understood. Next, whoever would also like to go next.
Everyone before Louis could go.
I'll follow Endy's lead there, and holding up the fiery paw one more time to the fellows in the web, just as a reminder. I will drop that, and instead I will his whiskers start sparking and arcing with electricity as I'm going to do an elemental ray of an electric elemental ray at the at Endy's target. Let's see. That is an unnatural 20. Unnatural. And I think that's just a D4. Yeah. D4 of electricity damage.
And is an agility roll on their part, or on this individual's part as well, correct?
No, I think it's just an attack roll against their AC.
Oh, excellent, excellent.
For 3 electric damage.
Understood.
Endy's gonna have a very long talk with Mr. Doctor, like sometime after this, about everything they're witnessing right now.
You do this. That brings us to Broden.
I think Broden is he will reload his crossbow again, and he's actually looking to see if there are any um other individuals that we're missing, like maybe somebody's trying to sneak away or something like that.
Go ahead and give me a cunning and your choice of notice or search.
I've got notice as a skills. 22. Again.
22?
Yeah.
There is an individual sort of a part of this, yet not a part of this. An individual watches from a balcony that is facing toward the square. You catch the look, they look disappointed in this. Um, this individual is a deep gray cat, fur very clean, dressed almost in looks like a noble of some sort. They shake their head in disgust and sort of turn to leave and withdraw back into the domicile, the building itself.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to try and sneak over to that building and see if I can find out more about them. It looks like everybody else is handling the rest of the folks on the stage.
Understood. That brings us to Luis.
Louis is going to join the commoner slash corgi tornado mosh pit that they have helped create. They're not trying to kill anyone per se. They're using their spear to just try and shove people back or cats back if they've noticed it, or if not, then rats, just whatever they notice, and create that opening for people to get out.
Excellent.
Let's see what I can do here. Yeah, I can't cheese this with deck, so this is just be pure strength. Oh boy. Again with edging on the net 20. So that one sadly is only a 17.
Not terrible. Excellent. A path has been created. You usher in the innocence, or usher out the innocence, I should say. With this, the again, these things all happen at once. The smack of the paw, the hiss, quickly cut short by Mr. Doctor's electricity. As the individual is electrified, the amulet shatters that they are wearing, and the fur turns a deep black. This is not the only change that takes place here. This individual is not a rat at all. Uh, is slightly smaller. There is no scar. There is no long tail that wraps around the waist. This is still the rodent variety, but a mouse. Um, this is revealed to you as this takes place. They look less fierce, all the more well, still the same amount of panicked, and sort of they seem fully aware of their situation at this point. As well, Broden, you make your way over to the building. Um, in this moment, the collar is secure, as if you see fit. Picking things up is a free action if you so choose. Um, but you guys seem to have a handle on the situation. The guards have gathered up the individual that you had previously webbed. Mr. Doctor, the moment of threat has given them a moment to just sort of slap some shackles on. Um, and with the spurring on of the crowd and everyone else escaping, um, the rest of these individuals are not trampled, but swarmed and given the opportunity or the guards are given the opportunity to apprehend these individuals. So the situation is relatively under control. There's still a sense of panic, and everyone's a bit on edge, and there's still the adrenaline is high. But the situation as a whole is dealt with by all of you. Roden, you are at the building itself, where that individual shook their head and returned into the building. Um, but this is the sort of end of combat. You have some captives if you so choose. The scene is yours.
So as I guess the mouse behind the rat is revealed, and I'm sure it's probably shaken its claw a bit from my thorough smacking of its hand, and the collar is retrieved. And she'll move forth towards the mouse in question, kind of give it a look up and down. But this, why?
Let's have a persuade.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll call this presence and persuade.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's a one.
Oof.
That's a
They
nat one.
kind of look up, and there's some vitriol in this individual's eyes. They look up at you and they just shake their head and say, "Just take me to jail, it doesn't matter."
Okay. And I kind of like motion to the guard, like,
The guards move in, and apprehend the individual. There's no discussion between the guards and this individual. There's likely going to be a trial or investigation later. Um, but as they pass you, they give you a nod and a kind word as they thank you for your aid.
oh, but of course. It's the least I can do for the church. And I shall sheathe my cutlass back.
Understood.
A job well done. And I will turn and start, then I will scan and I will probably notice corgis everywhere. And I'll be like, well, I see Lou's family finally arrived.
There's just Louis like a battle cry, but it's really just dogs screaming as they're still trying to beat up on a couple of the people to clear a bigger path.
Yeah,
And
it's sort of howls of triumph.
because I'll make my way back down to Mr. Doctor and make sure he's okay. Kind of.
Seems this is wrapped up.
Yeah, I think Broden is actually going to be investigating that house that the one individual went back into. And he's going to be looking for either a way in or at the very least a way to observe inside.
Uh, easily done. You arrive at the building and it is not a home. It is a fairly a much higher up in quality or a higher standing sort of tavern slash inn. Um, you make your way in. There's some looks that you get. They seem to be aware of the situation that went on outside, so they're on edge as well. But you are the least of their concerns for the time being. You may make your way through this place unhindered.
Is the individual I saw shaking their head in here?
Upstairs, as you move through, you can quickly find where their room is, if you so choose.
Okay. He will find their room and just listen at the door for a bit.
You take your place at the door, you kind of listen in. What you hear is the confidence of someone who is likely going to attempt something like this again. You hear them speaking to somebody. They say, "No, it failed, just as it would, but your ventures are yours, and yes, yes, I know. It's one artifact. It's not going to be any problem. There are other avenues we might explore. I will make my way there shortly. I'll see you soon."
Is it possible to try and sneak into the room?
Absolutely. Always possible. Always possible to give an attempt. Let's have agility and sneak.
Okie doke. And on that, it is his. Okay. And agility is, I think agility is one of his primaries. So
Should be, yes, I believe so.
well, 13, 9 plus 4. So
Excellent. I'll make a roll. See how enthralled in the conversation that there are. You can kind of creak into the. I'm going to switch dice for the next game. The I'm single digits whole game. Um, Enthralled in their conversation, you manage to creak through the front, the entrance to the door, and you see them. Their back is to you. They are speaking to look into what looks like just sort of almost like a crystal ball sort of situation. Um, they're nodding as if they're able to hear. You don't hear any sound coming from this device, this artifact. Um, but you are, for the time being, unhindered and unseen.
okay. I imagine we probably want to move to someone else while I'm stealthing behind this person.
By all means. The scene down below is with Mr. Doctor Endy and Louis Corky.
It
He'll
seems the
just
cult facade was a ruse.
Louis just still helping kick the shit out of anyone else that was a part of this, even though they probably don't need to. There's probably a guard trying to pull them away, but they're just hurt my feeling.
There's some interactions with you, Louis, with the especially with the corgis. They feel empowered, they feel helpful, and they've taken to kind of grouping up and holding some of these rats and other disguised individuals. They saw the amulet shatter, they saw the amulet being ripped off, so they're kind of taking that away. Um, in this, there are individuals of the rodent variety are revealed. Their fur is not that does not match the description of anyone from uh, the cult that your companion was once a part of. Um, but these corgis are kind of like again empowered, kind of delivering them to the guards. Like this one officer, this one was particularly fighty. Um, but it's the guards are appreciative, but also like we'll take it from here.
Louis like finally stops, then looks at one, and they're just now processing. Hey, these aren't the white rats. They pause. You were gonna give my friend a bad name, right to the face if they can land it.
The guards
And that-
kind of wince as this happens, and they're like, that's not on us, right? That's not. We're not gonna get injured. Yeah, no, that's not a guard, so we're good.
Oh no, I tried to be a guard, but then like someone's captain said I was too fey minded, so I couldn't be one. So no, I'm not a guard. Anyway, there they are. Oh, that one's bleeding. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I can
Thank you
help fix that.
for your
I'm gonna come. I now that we're done, I am gonna head towards Louis, with Mr. Doctor in tow as much as possible, and as he keeps pounding on these things, I will, like finally like, co- my friend, they have them. Come, we are still missing one of ours. We must make sure
Wait,
Broden is
missing.
okay.
You
I have not
bastard! Did you get Broden?
I
See
rolled a
what
20
the
on my. I am holding Louis back from like
Oh yeah, it's
continuing to
Understood.
beat this crap out of things.
it's
The,
the small dog trembling of rage.
this the rat in question and that's been apprehended kind of looks and it's like, chill the fuck out. I don't know the fuck was Broden.
So I grab Louis and I kind of hold him tight. It's like, this is not the first time I've had to do this. Like, for all
My
of my enthusiasm, it's like when a corgi goes off the deep end, it's like nothing you've ever seen. So it's like, come on, let's
It-
I
go
think
find our friend.
they're
It's a
not
look-
squirmy to break free, but they're squirmy to like stay in place long enough to say this. Like, if I think happens to my friend, I know where the jail is. I know where you'll be.
There's
You'll
a
see.
look at
You'll see orange fur for the rest of your life, which won't be long.
in
There's
the-
a go on.
I was gonna say, in the movie in my head, the Louis Corgi is voiced by Patton Oswald.
I love that. There's a
Yes.
look by this rat kind of looking to the guards, getting no sympathy, and looking to you, Mr. Doctor, like, come on, you know what this happened? It's a sort of uh, a a cultural or a familial sort of like, help me out, cousin. Come on, please. Like,
All right.
control
Yeah,
your friend.
Mr. Doctor's gonna kind of get in between and awkwardly work his way closer to the rodent. Is this the one that got hit?
Yeah, well, this is more specifically, this is one that the one that ripped off the amulet
Right.
of their own accord.
Let me tend to that wound. It's okay. I'm a mister. And he's gonna start to tend, cleaning up the blood, and then he's gonna quietly ask, "What were you trying to accomplish, cousin?"
Kind of looks around and being held by a guard, he kind of just looks down and whispers and says, "We were being paid. That's all I can say. They're probably still watching."
I'll go.
There's
Oh, they're good. Good.
there's a sort of pause as they hesitate and then they speak up and say, I didn't we didn't mean to cause trouble for you. This was never supposed to be a we didn't know that someone from the cult or a former member even would be in the city. This wasn't supposed to be a pin job or anything.
I understand. Grudges are exhausting. And he just kind of turns and walks back to his friends and relays the information that these guys were paid off. And that-
Understood.
And that those who paid them off might be watching.
Got my eyes on him.
While this goes down, we will pan our camera to Broden. You are in the room with the individual. They seem distracted. What would you like to do?
I'm going to try and pick his pocket.
Understood. This would be agility and steel. Uh,
So a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You pick the pocket one with a dirty 20. You can grab just about everything you damn well please. So if you'd like some coin, you can help yourself to that. Um, are you just sort of grabbing all you can, or
Yeah.
is this okay?
I
Perfect.
mean, I mean, if it's a purse, he's doing the classic cut purse thing. He's just taking the purse.
Excellent. You do this um, for clarity, absconding after the fact, or
No,
remaining.
he's gonna pocket it, and he's just gonna sit there and wait for the guy to notice that he's there.
Understood. Doesn't take terribly long. There's some directions given, it seems like, judging by the responses that this individual gives. But the message or the communication is ended very shortly after you cut the person. The individual turns and sort of jumps back. No weapon on their person. They seem to be appalled that you're here. Like, what on earth are you doing in my space, my room?
Um, I think we call this foiling your dastardly plan. At least that's what Lewis would say. Here trying to figure out what you thought you were up to.
I'm afraid I don't know what you mean. Cat-like fashion just sort of knock over the orb. It shatters, and they say, "Sometimes."
Hey, I get it. Everybody's got thinks they're going to, you know, win. It's fine. But well, this wasn't your plan, was it? It was the other guy's plan. Your plan, I'm sure, will be
I'm afraid if you're, I'm sadly unaware of. You're referring to the ne'er-do-wells that were going on down below.
excellent. We're all sort of investigating. Didn't get hurt, so I'm not feeling particularly violent about that fact. But who's the fellow whose plan this was?
They look to you a bit, kind of weighing their options, and they say, "You know, we're looking for compensation. A number of individuals in the fold that might be willing to discretion." And they reach for a purse that is not there. Just look a bit confused.
Hard to trust rats these days.
Can recognize Broden, in a very real sense. Uh, um, there is one, well, there are technically two exits, in this. Look toward the door, and then there's a brief sort of glance to their left over their shoulder, be willing to risk the leap.
We'll wait to see what direction they go.
They dive for the balcony.
A Pomeranian, a very, very feisty corgi with really weird things going on, all show up because they have sniffed out and have tracked him through the crowds to this location and go, I wouldn't do that if I were you. The guards are downstairs waiting.
Please do. Please try.
They
Atlas.
So about that other person's plan that you were going to.
I believe I'm in need of some legal representation. As they hold their thinking that you are some sort of lawful authority. And any quippy one-liners or anything else anyone would like to do in this moment, this might be.
It's a
So-
Saint Bernard miracle.
So
Who's got-
Yeah.
we have a much bigger pot to work
Louis,
with now.
back and back.
The
Yeah,
individual.
I need to sit down. My heart hurts. I haven't done that since. Oh, we don't need to talk about that. Yes, hearts.
Out of rage.
Well, I mean, yeah. You never seen.
Never go up against a corgi when anything that could keep them from their rage is on.
Right.
Yes. Also, don't do the spider thing again. That was gross. Don't.
Worked quite
Oof.
impressively.
It may have worked, but it was gross.
Guards, and we allow the guards to cuff the cornered cat and to take him away to the
Case of
jail
the
for further
cornered
questioning.
cat.
Our heroes, having foiled a plot, unbeknownst to them, and just seeking out a time of joy and relaxation. It is investigated further, and the individual is pressed. There is, of course, magic used in order to gain some more knowledge. Not a whole lot is given, I'm afraid. But you do have one lead should you ever wish to pursue this thread of strangeness. You have the name of an organization called the Scottish Fold. It is seems to might be the organization behind this foul plot. Um, Anything further will have to be explored another day. I thank you
course.
all so much for joining. You guys are wonderful. Um, wow, yeah, that was crazy. Y'all did excellent. And I thank you so much for being here, and thank you all so much for watching. We'll go around the room once more, let everyone know who you are, who you've been, where they can find you. Yeah, we'll do that. Let's start with Louis Corgi.
Hi everyone. Again, I'm Minty Bow, and I played Lewis Corgi, the leader of the Corgi Tornado, for you today. You can find me here on Twitch at Minty_Bow. You can find me on Twitter with at it's Minty Bitch. I will warn you, completely deranged. Please be 18 plus if you want to see me there. I'm also on Blue Sky, but I don't use that a lot. And yeah, you may see me in other stuff here with other groups or solo doing video games like Monster Hunter and all that on the weekends. It's been amazing to be here, and thank you, Gilbert, for running this for us.
Thank you so much for being here. It was an absolute delight. Corgi is my favorite. Um, let's go over to Broden.
My name's Jeremiah McCoy, also known as Basics of the Game on TikTok and here on Twitch. I actually have a stream this coming Monday where I'm running my year and a half long Vampire the Masquerade game called New York by Night. Um, and I'm around in various places. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Blue Sky. I'm around. I exist in spaces.
Absolutely do, and thank you for existing in this space. It is much appreciated. Let's go over to Andy.
Hi again, everybody. I am Heather Ashcraft, otherwise known as Valley Girl Heather, from Valley Girl Designs. Again, RPG freelancer and all around. I'm here, there, and everywhere. You can look for me. I'm primarily on Discord, Facebook, and Instagram, and on TikTok. So those are my main ones, but especially on Discord. I am actually, the next place you can see me is actually just in a few hours. I will be in my second game of the weekend, second live game, I should say. You can see me on the Curseborn actual play that they are going to be playing throughout. And then at just a few hours from now, I will be over on the Dork Tales Twitch with At the Gates game. So that will be the next one. Otherwise, next week I will be in Columbus, Ohio at Origins. Again, the Lurking Fears, running my games there, and just kind of bouncing around through the con. So thank you again. Thank you, Gilbert, and thank you for letting me in to roll some dice and to get to play with all these fantastic people.
Of course, it was an absolute delight, and thank you for being here. Last but certainly not least, Mr. Doctor.
Hello, I've been your mad scientist rat, but in this world, I'm Joshua Deach. Deach is it's spelled strangely right below my head there. And you can find me at usually at Joshua Deach at various places, including Twitter, the place where the sky is blue. And I'm going to try and be on the Onyx Path Discord a bit more as I recover from toddler wrangling and try and get back into more tabletop stuff.
Absolutely. Toddler wrangling is a whole other piece in and of itself.
Speaking
So I
of
wish you
horrific and heroic, yeah.
wish you all the luck, and of course, thank you for being here. I have been your story guide, Gilbert Ramos, found everywhere at Ramos the Nomad. Um, you can find me more frequently and most frequently over on twitch.tv/rolling nomads, um, where I am the media director and one of the founders. Um, we do a lot of TTRPGs and actual plays. That's primarily where I live, and yeah, that's the best place. That's where we're at. That's where we do. That's where I do most of my stuff, most of my work. I'm also a freelance writer for various game companies, including Onyx Path. So yeah, that's me in a handbasket. I'm really bad at shilling myself and what I do. Thank you guys so much for being here, and again, thank you so much for watching. We're a little bit over time, um, but we don't have everyone on directly after us, so we're good. We're doing great, Onyx Path. I appreciate you. I do this every time. Um, that's us in a handbasket. We thank you so much for being here, and we hope you enjoy the con. Have a wonderful time. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful weekend.
Have a great
Embody
con,
Saint
everyone.
Bernard.